All right, let's get right into it. If you're building, well, pretty much anything in the tech world, you're going to hit a major crossroads. And that is, which database do you use? It's a decision that can literally define your project for years. So today, we're breaking down one of the biggest matchups out there. So, what's it going to be? In one corner, you've got Microsoft SQL Server, the polished, powerful corporate giant. And in the other, Postgres, the incredibly capable and hugely popular open source challenger. And look, this isn't just about picking some software. It's a choice about philosophy, about budget, and about your long-term game plan. So, where do you even start? Let's start with the titan in the room, SQL Server. You really can't get a feel for its appeal unless you see it for what it is, the absolute centerpiece of the massive Microsoft ecosystem. It was never designed to just be a standalone database. It's meant to be the data engine for everything else Microsoft builds. What makes it enterprise-grade? Well, it's packed with features that big companies need right out of the box. For example, always-on availability groups. That's a fancy way of saying it has built-in tools to make sure your application almost never goes down. That's a huge deal. Or intelligent query processing, which is kind of like having a performance expert living inside the database, automatically making things run faster. This is the stuff that big businesses are more than happy to pay for. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from a developer who's actually in the trenches really hits the nail on the head. The tooling is a massive advantage. Think of things like SQL Server data tools as a complete, polished workshop that just makes your life easier when you're trying to build and manage these complex systems. And that brings us to another huge point. It's history. This is not some new, flashy tech that just came out. SQL Server has been battle-tested for decades. We're talking all the way back to the Windows NT days. For a large company, that long track record isn't just a fun fact. It's a promise of stability and reliability. Okay, but all of that power, all that history, it comes with a pretty big catch, and that's the price tag. So let's talk about the cost, because understanding SQL Server licensing is a major part of this whole debate. If you're setting this up on your own servers, it really boils down to two main models. First is per core. It's simple. You pay based on how powerful your server's processor is. This makes sense for something like a public website where you have no idea how many users will show up. The other way is server plus CAL. With this one, you buy a license for the server itself, and then you have to buy a client access license, a CAL, for every single person or device that's going to connect to it. That's a better fit for internal apps where you know exactly how many users you have. And here, you can see how that actually plays out. On the left, with the per core model, your cost goes up with the size of the machine. More horsepower, more money. On the right, with server plus CAL, your cost scales with the size of your team. So you're either paying for the size of the engine or you're paying for every passenger on the bus. And trust me, choosing the wrong model can get really expensive really fast. But of course, the cloud completely changes this conversation. Microsoft's answer is Azure SQL Database. And this is so important. It's not just SQL Server running on a rented computer. It's what's called a platform as a service, which means Microsoft's own engineers are handling all the annoying but critical stuff for you, like backups, security patches, and keeping the lights on. And this just flips the script on the whole value proposition. Instead of this massive upfront cost, you get to pay as you go. And they have things like the Azure Hybrid Benefit, which lets you use the licenses you already own to get a discount in the cloud. All of a sudden, that whole cost equation starts to look very different. All right, so that's the established giant. Now, let's turn our attention to the challenger. Let's talk about PostgreSQL, the absolute darling of the open source world that has quickly become a very serious competitor in the big leagues. And you know, there's a good reason for that. For a lot of companies trying to get away from those steep licensing fees, but without giving up any power, PostgreSQL has become what people call the natural first choice. It promises you all those enterprise-level features, but with that beautiful open source price tag, 0. So how does it actually stack up head-to-head? Honestly, it's a remarkably close race. When you look at the absolute core essentials, data types, indexing, making sure your transactions are safe, PostgreSQL goes toe-to-toe with SQL Server. But here's a key difference. Look at stored procedures. PostgreSQL lets you write them in languages like Python or Perl, not just a proprietary language like T-SQL. For a development team that wants to use the tools they already love, that is a huge plus. But PostgreSQL also has some unique superpowers. Its extensibility is the stuff of legend. You can literally create your own custom data types. Then there are foreign data wrappers, which let you connect to totally different databases and query them like they were right there. It's incredibly powerful. It also uses this really cool tech called MVCC, which helps it handle tons of users at once without them slowing each other down. And of course, the ultimate superpower. It costs absolutely nothing to use. Okay, so the tech specs are one thing, but what do the actual people who use these systems every single day have to say about them? This is where the decision starts to get really, really interesting. This quote right here gets at a powerful, real-world reason to go with SQL Server. When you're at a big company and all the software vendors you work with prefer and support SQL Server, standardization makes your life so much easier. It means you have one system to learn, one system to patch, and one number to call when things go wrong. It just simplifies everything. But here's the perfect counter-argument for PostgreSQL. The trade-off is crystal clear. Yeah, you might have to put in a bit more effort to set it up and manage it, but your reward is total freedom. Freedom from licensing costs, freedom from being locked into one vendor. For a lot of people, that freedom is worth every bit of extra work. People who love SQL Server also point to these little things that just make a developer's day-to-day life better, like being able to seamlessly run a query that pulls data from two different databases on the same server. That's a huge time saver. And a lot of people will argue that its documentation is simply the best in the business. It's clear, it's thorough, and you can usually find what you need pretty fast. Now, for the PostgreSQL folks, the argument often comes back to a kind of technical purity. It has this stellar reputation for being super strict about data integrity, what the pros call ACID compliance. In simple terms, that's just a rock-solid guarantee that your data won't get messed up. You combine that with its famous ability to be extended and customized, and you have a powerful combination for anyone who really values correctness and control. So when you boil it all down, for a lot of people, the decision just comes right back to the ecosystem. If your company is already deep in the Microsoft world, you're using Windows Server, Active Directory, Power BI, well, SQL Server often becomes the path of least resistance. It just fits. So you see, at the end of the day, this isn't really about which database is better. It's about choosing a philosophy. On one side, you have SQL Server, the polished, all-in-one commercial ecosystem that comes with official support, that proverbial single throat to choke when something breaks. And on the other side, you have PostgreSQL, the powerful, community-driven platform that's all about extensibility, sticking to standards, and giving you complete freedom. And that leaves us with the final question for you. There's no single right answer here. There's only the answer that's right for your project, your team, and your wallet. So which path are you going to choose? The deeply integrated, comfortable ecosystem, or the flexible, wide-open, open-source frontier? The choice is yours.